Random scraps and bits of this, turn them into something you can't miss. Junk journals, tapes, and crafts galore. He'll have you begging, show me more. Oh, dash it, babe. Oh, what a sight. Mixing colors, day and night.
Hi everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. So, this is where we are with the Lapbook. I think it's looking marvellous. So, you know when I did it last week, I left this bit Encyclopedia of Birds visible. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I might cover it over with something, but translucent, so it's there but not there. And yes, I've got some cracking here, but I can cover that with a bit of, I don't know, fabric or a bit of more flexible stuff that isn't coming to, my words aren't working today. What's the stuff called? Some paper, some more flexible paper. It's going to be one of those days. So it's my nervous anticipation. So as you're aware, I'm not a shy crafter about doing stuff that I've never done before, and I do it on camera. And I've done soldering and that sort of thing. This is something that I'm going to do, which is not something I've not done on camera, but something I'm not looking forward to. I am going to super glue this onto here today, and also we're going to sort our join out here. Okay, so and then we can start filling it. Really, we'll find a way to cover up that crack, and also whether we're going to cover over the lettering on the spine with something. But I'm going to super glue it now, because I'm an absolute wuss when it comes to super gluing. I'm going to put my gloves on because I am convinced that I'm going to be bonded together forever. Together forever and never to part. Shh, 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 Dave. Calm. Just smile and nod and back away slowly. That's the best thing to do. So, anyway. So, my super glue. Now, I told you the last time that I can't, for some reason, I can't get, it's glued its lid onto itself, and I can't get it off. And I've tried pliers and everything, and I can't do it. So I'm gonna just have to glue it with taking the lid off, which means it comes out too quickly. So what I thought I might do is use a bit of scrap card paper, fluflar, whatever, fluflar, you know what I mean. I don't know, well, you don't know what I mean, but like neither do I. Scrap stuff. Well, actually, I know what I can use. I can use a bit of scrap acetate. Oh, stop trying to use big words when you can't even use little words. So if I use some scrap acetate, pop this onto here, and then I was thinking, if I use this, I know there's a potential for all of this now to be all glued together forever, including me to it. But I was thinking, maybe that's the best way, because I thought I could get a bit more control than trying to squeeze a big blob of something. And then I've got, I should have down here somewhere. Yeah, so I've got Mavis and Audrey can help me. I think there's Mavis. I have no idea where Audrey's gone. Probably out partying, knowing her. Oh no, she's there. She was with Mavis, but I just wasn't watching. So there we go. There's Audrey. I thought I could place those on top of there to hold it down long enough for it to glue. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, so you've been warned. It was nice knowing you. If I meet you in Casualty with a chinchilla stuck to my ear, you'll know why. Well, you won't know why, because you'll be saying, why have you got a chinchilla stuck to your ear? I don't know. I don't have a chinchilla. I don't know anybody with a chinchilla. I used to have a chinchilla when I was ickle. When I say ickle, I mean I was in my teens. Oh no, I thought that was not going to come off as well. I thought that had glued on as well. So I don't know whether to kind of squeeze it onto there or to just do this onto here. And is this going to work? Not really. It's not really going to come out quick enough, is it? let's try doing like a narrow bead of it down here. See, like, you plan these things and sometimes they don't work the way you expect them to, but you know, we're crafters and we come up with great plans and ideas, and we're, what's the word, resourceful, that's the word that I was thinking of. I'm not going to worry about whether it glues all the way across. I'm hoping there's enough glue in here. I just want it to get enough on the bottom edge to make some adhesion in all of the parts of it. So like I say, I don't mind if it's not all the way across, but it needs to be don't do that, Dave, it all nearly came out. It needs to be all the way, you know, all of the corners. Sorry, I know that you can't see this bit, but it's probably best you don't. You know, like I say, I'm resourceful. I can come up with ideas and ways round, and just, I'm concerned I'm just going to be glued to the whole thing. I can feel my gloves are glued to it already. See, there's a hole in my glove, and now I'm worried it's going to stick to my finger. Nearly put it on the wrong way round. Right, let me just put it this way, because you don't have much wiggle room with super glue. You kind of, once it's down and it's staying there. I don't think we've got any wiggle room left in this now. I think it's going to be living there. Right. So I'm going to put, I'm scared about, I'm worried about sticking to things. So I'm going to put the heavier one, the heavier brick, on this side because there's more support underneath it, and the lighter one on this side, and hopefully that will stick down. In the meantime, I'm going to put the lid on this, and can you hear the panic in my voice? And I'm going to put that onto there. In fact, I'm going to throw all of that away because now I am concerned that I will just be stuck to the whole thing. I don't have any on me, do I? There we go. So, see, such a big wuss, aren't I? I'm hoping that's in the right place. Let's just turn it round and make sure it's across that edge. Yeah, it's there or thereabouts. It's got to look a little bit handmade anyway, so I don't know how long it's going to take to stick. So let's just move it to one side and just talk about what we're going to do the lid with. So this is the half of the lid. So these were the fabrics that I pulled out that I thought might be the thing to use. So I like this because I liked it because it's just bright. Doesn't have to be matchy. It doesn't have to go. The only thing is it's not long enough. Okay, so this piece isn't long enough, but do I worry about that, and do I have it as one continuous piece, or do I not? Do I not worry about it? So there's that. This piece, which I love, so I would definitely use all of, sorry, the full width of this, I think, across the thing. But that does mean I would cover a lot of the box up. And the only reason why I wanted to use that is because I don't want to decapitate the birds. I mean, I could cut the bottom off, but then you're cutting off some of the pretty things like the flower and the word escapes me. Butterfly. Me and words aren't friends. Then there's this, which also I think really goes. I think it kind of goes with that kind of like grungy kind of look. So there's that. Oh, then there's this, which I also like. This has got a slightly like a velveteen kind of finish. A very short pile to it, but still quite delicious. And it's also very tonally correct for the outside anyway. So, I mean, like, I know you can't help me, because by the time you tell me, it'll be 2 weeks. I'll have to look back 2 weeks in the past, and I'll have moved on from then. So, it's going to be a case of, I'm going to use one of these and somebody's going to be upset. Now, the only thing ruling this out for me, thinking about it, is I would need to cut it. I would need it to be probably cut it about there. I'm going to lose quite a bit of the interesting stuff. I mean, it's still not horrible, but I think then I could keep that piece, because that's the only piece I've got of that, keep that for something else and use the entirety of it. So it's between this one, which is thicker material than this, but this one is synthetic, so it's got a bit more resistance to it, because it's not natural fibres. It tends not to fray as much either. So now what do I do? Which do I go for? Now that's going to add a bit more colour to it. Let's wait and see if we want it. Have a look at. Let's sort out the box first, and then come back. So it's definitely going to be one of these two, I think. Definitely going to be one of these two, I think. That's not a definite, is it? If you think. So I thought that I'd glued to the desk then. It was so heavy to pull back, and then I thought, nope, it's got 2 bricks on it, Dave. So. Thanks, Audrey. You just plonk over there, and Mavis, thank you. Okay, so is it glued down? It is. Is it very rigid? It is. Excellent. Good. Brilliant. So that box closes up nicely on there, and that. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. See, scaredy cat. I can see a little bit of shininess there, and I'm not sure whether that's still wet glue or it's dry glue, so I'm not going to go near it just at the moment. So this is how it's going to be. So now it's a case of just laying them on and seeing what kind of makes me feel that's definitely the right one. I mean, like, just want a kind of guide for the width and that sort of thing. I don't know. I like them both equally. Let's have a look at that from the side so I can see what it looks like. Well, let's let you have a look as well. So this is this with this, and then this is this with this. Oh, this one. This one, I think that this has got more of these colours in it. That's what I think. That's what makes it go. It's got, like, you know, more of those colours in. So I think I'm going to use this one. So what I'd like is it to have that kind of a frayed edge, which means that I will have to. Which piece do I want to use? Actually, that's quite a nice piece there, isn't it? It's got a lot of different colours and some smaller flowers, whereas this piece up here has got bigger flowers and a much more predominant colour. So I think this bottom part, that means I only have to fray one side of it, and we just have to think about how deep we want it. So I would guess that whatever that is, like 2.5 inches wide. Deep. And how wide do I want that? So let's cut this end off. Do I want to cut that end off, or do I want to cut that end off? No, I want to cut that end off. So again, we're going to have to. So is it 11? I can't remember what we said this was. Is it 11 inches? Oh no, it's 11.5 inches. So we're going to cut it at 11.5 inches long and 2.5 inches wide. So I'm going to get my cutty thing, cutty sag, me cutty wheel. There we go. And we're going to, let's cut this bit off first, and then we're not cutting it down this way and cutting it off the spare. The spare can be the full length. The spare, the extra, whatever. So, no, it's not that way, Dave. It's this way. So, there to there, that's the 2.5 line there and there. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Just a kind of a about there, I think. A bit of glue stuck to that blade. Probably not the best thing to try and do with one hand, Dave. Try and pick it off. There we go, got it off. So I love this thing. It's so easy. Like, you know, when you get the right tools for the job, it's just perfect. So that's that. And then we're going, oh no, what have I put it away for, Dave? Because you need to cut the end, the edge down. So what does it say? 11.5 this way. Let's stick that on there. Which bit was I cutting off? I can't remember which bit I'm cutting off. That edge? No, this edge. Yeah, no, that's right. That way round. So 11.5 is there. I'm going to put that on there. Get that out of the way. Yep. And we're going to cut that bit off. It's just so easy to cut fabric when it's like that. So, okay, so I need to kind of fry it a bit because I don't, like I say, don't want it to look too perfect. And I realise this is going to shorten it a little, but again, I don't mind because it's not. I don't want it to be too perfect. So once I've done this, I'm hoping that because it's going to be glued down, it's not going to continue to fry. I want to cut that bit off though. And also, if I put a tiny bit of glue, I'm thinking if I use a bit of PVA, not PVA, but you know what I mean, my Barely Arts glue, its base is PVA. If I put a tiny ridge of that along the frayed bit, that'll stop it getting any worse. So, because if I got rid of the frayed bit, I could have cut it with a what's the word? Some pinking shears, because that stops it fraying. However, if I cut it with pinking shears, I'm not going to have the frayed edge, and I want the frayed edge. I'm afraid. You will be afraid, Dave. You don't shut up. So I'm just going to do this along this bit, and that should kind of just bond those fibres in, so it'll stay as frayed as it currently is without getting any worse. Now if I just get a cocktail stick, which is what we call them, I know that they're called toothpicks, but if you buy them in the UK, you're looking for a cocktail stick. So I mean, we do sell toothpicks, but they're very definitely more dental. They're usually made of plastic, and they're very fine, and well, they have a bit of floss on it. I don't know why I had to lick my teeth when I said floss, but I did. smoosh that in. I might do that with the full width of the thing. Just kind of smoosh it in like that. Roll backwards and forwards. Oh, that's good. That actually worked nicely. So do that with that there. Just roll it off. There we go. Roll it off. Roll it off. Roll it off. As you can imagine, this cocktail stick is very sticky now. It's a sticky stick. Stick, 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 sticky stick, 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 stick. Yeah, we don't go there either. So I'm concentrating. I've got my tongue out, trying to make it as straight as I can. Now, this is much more naturally frayed. It's kind of got that floofy end to it, but I'm not worried about it. I shan't cry. It'll happen like that over time. It'll just get better over time. So I'm just going to do this on this edge, and then we'll get sticking. There we go. Fabulous. Okay, so I've got sticky fingers now, and that's all done. Just try and get these off. This off my fingers, I mean. Okay. So stick that back in there. You'll just give me a minute after I've done this. I'm just going to wet my whistle. So, like I say, doesn't look as cool because it's not as naturally frayed, but it'll get nicer through age and wear and tear and that sort of stuff. So, next thing to do is, don't throw that away, because it'll just hang around there otherwise. I've tried to tidy up a bit around my desk before I started filming today, but I don't know whether you can tell. Well, you can't really see much around my desk, but I can. It's looking better than it was. Still doesn't look great, but you know, like those. I've got a collection of random bits, you know, that should have gone back where they were supposed to go, but they didn't, and so they're now just kind of just lying around. I mean, there's a few bits here, so like, so I just put them there rather than putting them back. So. We're going to stick this down. Now, what are we going to stick it with? I think we're going to use some kalal. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use kalal or 3-in-1 or whatever I've got. Kalal, I think, is what I've got the majority of. This is the one that I mixed, but it doesn't seem to have mixed particularly well. You can't shake it, of course, because it doesn't move. So slow turning. You need to have turned it upside down and back up the right way about 50 times to have mixed it all properly, but who's got time for that? So yes, that's what we're going to use on the front of it. I hope you like my choice. I hope you're not going, oh Dave, no, that's not the right choice, because to me it is. So I'm going to stick. Is that the right way up to stick it, or is that the right way up? No, it's definitely that way. Okay, so we are going to stick it. Do I want something else under there? Maybe I'm going to, just to hold it together, I think I might just use some brown gummed tape, because you know I'm not happy unless I've licked this to death. I think I might just use some of this just to hold it together while I bond it. It's not really going to act as any kind of hinge because it'll just break eventually after it's gone backwards and forwards, but this will stay in place. So, and remember, I can only put this on one side because when you fold it this way, there's this gap here. So if I tried to stick it this side, when you bend it back, it's just going to snap this edge So it's on. I can only do it on the outside, like that. So let's just have a. I know how long it is. It's 11.5, isn't it? So let's cut the end fairly straight. How's that going to happen, Dave? How the heck's that going to happen when you're cutting things? You cut anything, it's never going to be straight, is it, Dave? So let's give it a head start. Cut that bit. And then we're going to go 11.5 this way. That's here. Cut that. And then we're going to cut it down so it's narrower than that. We don't want a huge. What do I want? Do I want just a? Or is a ruler's width enough? Yeah, you know what? I think that's enough. That's all I'm doing is just holding it together while I put the fabric on. So. Or shall I use that piece because it's just a bit wider? Let's use this piece because it's a bit wider. That's fine. So, this is really weird. It's like Pavlov's dog, isn't it? So, so when I get this stuff out, I start to salivate. This is really bizarre. I've started to salivate every time I use this stuff. So my brain is obviously going, right, you're going to need to have a lot of saliva in your mouth. So too much information, but I'm telling you anyway. Right, I'm going in. Right. Just a quick eyeball. Yeah, that's fairly straight. That's fine. Doesn't matter anyway because it's only holding it together. Is that the right side? Yeah, this is the rounded bit. That's the flat bit. That's just going to go there. That's sticking those two together. Right, cool. And that's that bit. I can't remember what the joke is, but there's a joke about Pavlov's dog and Skinner's pigeon. Something about going into a library. Oh, yeah. So somebody goes into a library and says, "Do you have a copy of Pavlov's dog and Skinner's pigeon?" And the librarian says, "Oh, it rings a bell, but I'm not sure where it is." So it made me laugh. So what can I say? That's judgment on me. So because when I did my teaching degree, it was all about Pavlov's dog and Skinner's pigeon, and yeah. So it made me laugh, like I say. So I'm sharing it with you, and I bet you're going, "Oh well, thanks, Dave. Thanks for that. I could have lived without that, but thanks." I should have added "budum" on the end, although that sounds like I'm starting Netflix. So I don't know why. I don't know why these things tickle me, but they do. Right. I don't want this to saturate this. So it'd be best to brush it on, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm going to have to say goodbye to another brush, aren't I? Oh, I've got a brush here, which is not very... I think I've put something on that before and not taking it all off. I could use that, I guess. Because do I have any acetone to wipe it off with? Probably not. So do I say goodbye to this? Yeah, it's only an art studio one, which is just... I think that's the range So I've just used this. This is definitely clumped together. This is like either that or it's been drinking a coffee and didn't wipe all the coffee out of its beard. So is it soft enough to brush on with? Yeah, it'll be fine. You can tell it's got something on it because when you bend it up, you see how this curves in that way and this curves in that way, but it doesn't splay out. And normally that's what you'd expect it to do. That's because they're all stuck together on the end. So anyway, I need to put it. I don't want to put it in that thing. I could do with putting it on something to. Oh, don't put it on that, Dave. I was going to put it on that red mat again, but I had to take that into the shower the other day to wash it with me. Let's use a bit of. Let's use a bit of bread wrapping, grease-proof paper. Let's use that, and we'll pop the glue onto here. Well, in fact, we just kind of scoop the edges up a bit, so it's not quite as flat and it doesn't just run off. Pop that onto there. It might be too much, Dave. And then we're going to brush this onto here. So what I don't want is I don't want it to all soak through and really affect the other side of it. So I want to kind of just brush it on. I don't know whether this is going to work. It kind of worked in my head. I think it's soaking through anyway, but never mind, Dave, you're just gonna have to live with it. Does that have any on that side? No, it doesn't. Right, I'm gonna stick it down, and then I can always apply a bit more. Oh dear, it's just pushed everything off the edge. I can always apply a bit more if I need it, if it's peeling up like there. Maybe put a bit on there. Just lifting it up enough just to be able to stick some underneath it, just to make sure it completely bonds. Didn't want to put it on the surface straight away. This is the reason why I thought I could brush it on the back of the fabric, because what I didn't want to do is kind of just over glue and end up with a whole load of sticky mess all oozing out. But I think that's kind of glued down. Let's just pull that back and see if there's any bits where it's not. No, it seems to be fairly glued in. Oh, of course I wouldn't see that because I'd only see the underside of that. That's true, Dave. But when you bend it, is it buckling anywhere? No, there we go. So we've got that. So that really didn't work the way I expected it to. Now I've got a pull of glue. Great, well done, Dave. Let's fold that over before you stick it back in the glue box. Otherwise, they're all going to be glued together. So we've made the hinge here. We've made this hinge. Oh, that's the other thing we're going to look at is what we're going to do with this. So I've got some sellotape that I've done here, but it's quite dark, this one, and also it's not the best. It's not my favourite one. I might have to do that the next time, because then we can do that together We can make some sellotape and stuff, you know, I've done that before, but with you, but we could always do that. So for this edge where I've got this cracking, I could put maybe some of that on it, or I could keep it the same and have just a very narrow bit of this on it. I guess if I put this on it, it's a bit more in keeping, isn't it? Should we do that? Let's do that then. So, that's the book there. So, how much do I want? Well, I know I need it to be 11 wide, so now let's cut the width of it first. I only want a really slim bit, don't I? Or is that going to be too narrow? No, maybe not. I maybe probably could have done with some like ribbon or something, but I think I want to kind of keep it in the same vein. Let's use this bit. I think I'm just going to cut the width of this. Still a metal ruler, so I can use it with my bladey thing. Just make sure I keep my fingers out of the way. And then just keep going. I know this is a cheat's way of measuring, but you know, if there's a corner to cut, then why not? Nobody says you have to make it really difficult for yourself. Okay, so we've got that bit. We just need to now make it the right length. So does it need to be the same length? So cracking does go right down to this end, not as far as this end. I think I'm just going to stick it on all the way across. That's not going to stay like that for doing that, Dave. So I'm going to go a little bit over because I'm just going to fray it a bit. In fact, I'm not going to account for that fraying. I'm just going to go a little bit over, cut that bit off there, and just fray it a little bit on the end. Not worried about the edges as much this time, just a little bit on the end. There we go. Okay, apparently I am going to worry about the edges because they just started to fray. Again, don't just push them out of the way, throw them away. So, learnt my lesson this time. What's the best way to do this? To do it like this, or to do it when it's open? So to do it when it's like that, or to do it like that? To do it like that, I guess. Yeah, let's do it that way. So, put it that way up. It's not cracking, that's fine. So, that's going to go on there. I just want it to make it look like it's been repaired a bit. So good. Glad we didn't get rid of that. Then, brush is very sticky now. We're just going to paste a bit on here. Learning our lesson from last time, but you know, we have to make some mistakes to learn the right way. Nobody ever did it perfect the first time, and if they did, it was fluke, but they didn't do it perfect the second time. So, I mean, this is not my first time, but it's still not perfect. Who needs perfection? Sorry, again, gone quiet. Don't mind it a little bit wavy, but I want to kind of stick down properly. Okay, so any bits that aren't sticking down, a bit more of that underneath, in here. It's not easy to brush this stuff on. Who are you calling Stefan? Stick that on now. Let's just pick that up and then do the same under this bit. Bring that down. That bit there. Is there any more? Tiny bit on there. Probably need a bit more of that on it. Need peeling back? Not really, but I will. Right. Hopefully that's stuck down. All that end is still not stuck down properly. Let's put a bit more on the end of there. There we go. Still, oh, I didn't do anything to stop it peeling, frying this time, but never mind. And yes, I know that some of you are going to say, well, if now you've done it there, maybe you should do it there. But actually, I like the asymmetry of it. I like it to look like it's been repaired. It makes it all feel a bit more genuinely old. I'm not going to be able to clean. I'll just have to accept that is it's a glue. It's a brush that I've had to say bye-bye to. So now, okay, so then what we'll do next time is we will think about what we're going to cover that with. I'll have a look in the meantime. Might just, have a play and see what I think. I could always cover it with, let me just see if I can reach this. So this is my glassine paper. I could always cover it with a bit of glassine. Again, I don't think I've got any glassine that's big enough, but I could definitely put some glassine down that spine on there. I think that gives it a much better look, don't you? So yes, maybe make some more glassine, because I don't have much of it left. I think that's basically all I've got. So maybe the glassine would be better rather than the sellotape. And then we're going to look at filling it, what we're going to put in it. So I'm thinking of having, what I'd like here is like a very long kind of like book, like journaling book. So not so that it's like a shopper that opens long ways this way. So not so that the length is on the portrait, but so the length is this way around. So the spine would be here, and just so that it could be, like just a bit of a quirky, different type of book. I was thinking about maybe having, I don't know, somewhere for maybe pencils, but I don't think that's big enough for a pencil, to be fair. No, I'd have to sharpen them completely down so so they'd fit in the space. But maybe some kind of, I don't know, other paraphernalia, he says in quotation marks. But maybe something like a paint palette in here. And so that, what I'm thinking is, some Edwardian person can pick this up, go off down like into the meadow, go and draw some beautiful things and colour wash them and while away those summer days, and then come back and have it on their lap at night. So hence a Lapbook, have it on their lap at night and go through their things, maybe somewhere for them to be able to keep cuttings and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's kind of what's going through my mind. I might make a box that fits in that bit then, where it can have other things tucked into it, maybe like a mini journal within the journal. So that's where we currently are with that. I hope you're liking the way that this is going. If you do, then you know how you can tell me. Give me a thumbs up. If there's something you'd like to say, then please don't forget to comment. If you think other people might like what I'm doing, then share it and share the playlist for it, because there is a playlist for this, so you can watch from the beginning through to the end. And if you'd like to go and check out any of my other socials or my Etsy, it's all everything's all in the description. But you know, what I want to say is thank you very much for being here in the first place. So thank you to everybody that's subscribed. Thank you to everybody that's wished me well. And you know, if you want to help and support my channel, you can help me via a one-time tip via Ko-fi. You can buy some digitals off Ko-fi. Tend to have more exclusive stuff on my Ko-fi, or buy something from Etsy. The world is your I was going to say oyster, but like if you're anything like me, you probably can't afford an oyster. So, so the world is your muscle. Anyway, so thank you very much. Mussels called mussels throughout the world. I don't mean these ones because I don't have any of these, but you know, the ones that live in the sea. Because oysters called oysters everywhere in the world. A whelk's called whelks everywhere in the world. I don't know. Maybe I need to go and find out. Anyway, right. My brain's distracted enough. Right, I'm going to go. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all, without exception, until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, folks. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs. I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye. Bye.